Hey, it's Kamori, and today we're going to be making Rin Tohsaka from the Fate series. So this tutorial is going to be focusing primarily on her shirt. The skirt is just a basic pleated skirt. I'm using the same technique that I used for my Junko Enoshima skirt, and I'll put a link to that video in the description box below. For Rin's top, I'm going to be using New Look 6299 for the base pattern. Now this is for a dress, so we're going to be shortening it to use it for a top pattern. And I started by making my base mock-up out of some scrap fabric so that I could trim the bottom so that it has the point in the front so it looks a bit more like Rin's shirt. Take apart the mock-up and then use that to create the new pattern for the front of the shirt. And we're going to start by cutting out the center front portion. Now before we sew any of the rest of the shirt, we're going to add the design on the front. So she has this white cross design, so I added it on by heat and bonding some white satin on, and then I stitched around the edges to more firmly secure it, and I also added a white button on either side. Zigzag around the edges to keep them from fraying, then we're going to sew the front piece to the two side front pieces. Repeat the process with the back of the bodice. Then we're going to sew the back to the front along the shoulder seams and along the side seams. The sleeve pattern that is included is a bit too long for Rin's sleeve, so I started by taking the base of the sleeve and then extending it to the length that I wanted. And then we're going to zigzag around the edges of the sleeves to keep them from fraying. Putting right sides together, fold the sleeve in half and sew it together along the side. For the cuffs of Rin's shirt, we're going to cut two rectangles, fold them in half, and zigzag along the edge to keep them together and to finish the edges. Then we're going to fold them in half again and sew them together along the side. Sew the cuff to the bottom of the sleeve. Then we're going to sew the sleeve onto the shirt. For Rin's collar, I drafted a basic pattern using a number of tutorials online for stand-up collars, and we're going to, instead of having the opening in the front, have the opening in the back. We're going to cut two of these out of the red fabric and sew them together along the top. Turn the collar over and press it flat. I also added a line of top stitching along it, and we're going to sew it to the neckline of the bodice. Sew the back of the shirt together along the center back seam and insert the zipper. Then finish the bottom with a rolled hem. I did run into a little bit of trouble with the point in the front of the bodice. It kept flipping up, so I sewed a red glass bead on the inside of it to make it weighed down so that it would stay in place. And with that, Rin's outfit is done. For more cosplay sewing tutorials, please subscribe, and thank you very much for watching.